Hey guys, we are back with a Discovery Club lesson. I don't know about you, but sometimes it was a rainy day this morning and sometimes you just need a nap. So hanging out in Carson's room today, but it made me think of this story. We just finished the book of Judges and Ruth, and we're talking about that time. And we're going to start looking at 1st and 2nd Samuel and some of the stories that come out of that. And it starts with a woman named Hannah. And the thing about Hannah is she was unable to have children, and it really bothered her. That was really important to her, and so she prayed and she prayed and asked God to let her have a child. And in fact, she made a deal with God, and she said, "If you would bless me with a son, I will dedicate him to God, to you." And she became pregnant, and she had Samuel, her son. And Hannah was faithful, just as we've been talking about the faithfulness of God and the faithfulness of some of his people. And Hannah was faithful. So after the right time, when he was a baby, she took Samuel when he was young and dedicated him to the Lord and took him to the temple. And he actually lived in the temple and served and helped the prophet or the priest Eli. And so Samuel was growing up, and he was learning about God's faithfulness. He was learning about how to serve as a priest and how to be a part of that. Maybe not even sure that he was going to grow up to be a prophet, somebody who spoke for God, for God's people. But I want to tell you a little bit one of my favorite stories about Samuel, because when Samuel was young, he was going about his day serving and helping Eli, and nighttime came, and they all went to bed, and Eli was sleeping and Samuel was sleeping.
Eli.
And then he woke up.
Eli.
What are you doing here, Samuel?
Did you call me?
No, I didn't call you. Why don't you go back to bed? I think you're just hearing things. Okay, so that was weird. So anyway, Eli was sleeping and Samuel was sleeping. He went back to sleep after that whole hearing things deal.
Eli. I thought I heard you calling.
No, I'm not calling you. I'm sleeping. Go back to bed. Anyway, back to the story. Eli was sleeping and Samuel was sleeping. I don't know why he keeps getting up, but he should be sleeping all night so that the next morning he's ready to serve.
Eli.
What now?
I know I heard you calling.
Wait a minute. That wasn't me. I bet you're hearing the voice of God. Go back to bed, and if you hear it again, just tell God that you're listening, okay?
Okay.
All right. So Samuel went back, and he laid down, and he heard the voice again. And when God called, he said, "Your servant is listening." And God spoke to him, and he called him, and he said, "You are going to be my prophet. You are going to speak for me." And that Eli's got some problems in his family, and we're going to have to deal with that. But I have big plans for you. I like that story because we see Samuel, a young boy who is dedicated to God. His mom was faithful when God was faithful to her by letting her son go and serve in the temple. And now Samuel, God's going to use him to do amazing things. And in fact, we're getting ready to move from the time of the judges, where you had people like Deborah and Samson that were leading the people, to a time where they begin to have a king and a kingdom. And Samuel is an important part of the people of God establishing their kingdom. And so again, another story where we see the faithfulness of God and of his people as we go forward through the scriptures. All right, that's our story for today. We'll continue to follow Samuel through the books of 1st and 2nd Samuel and into the books of 1st and 2nd Kings, and as we learn about the kingdom of Israel as God works through his people. All right, hope you're having a good week. We'll see you next time.